Look at this place. I mean, we were just in the desert. And now we're in this beautiful forest with a cool breeze. This was the best break spot I've been to in a while. Can you see the family of cows? What a ride. And that bike right there is a beast. And then over here we got Zero Cool on the Husky. And the breeze is like air conditioning out here today. You know, the thing about dirt bikes is the ride is the destination. You know, just being on the bike is what it's all about. But then also, look at these destinations. The destination is also the destination. It's a win-win on a dirt bike. Okay. I parked up on these rocks. It's gonna be a little bit of a bumpy turn out of here, but let's get it started. Okay. These two strokes. Alright. Trying to be respectful of the terrain and not like I'm off trail right now, so I'm trying not to tear it up. What a beautiful ride today. I think I want to continue on with the trauma talk because, you know, the more I talk to people, the more I realize that everybody's got them. And you know, I brought up ACEs. I was in a Facebook Live on somebody else's Facebook or YouTube Live. And he was talking about his traumas, and so I just asked him in the chat if he looked up his ACEs. And he was like, oh yeah, I looked it up. I've got a ACE score of a 6, which is a very high score. And people in the chats started asking about it and going and taking the test, and people were almost bragging, almost like they were happy to have a high ACE score to prove that they went through something hard. That's that brain and that ego grabbing onto that self-importance, and then that's why we stay in these traumatic loops. Nobody got on that chat like, oh, my score is 0, I'm so happy. It was like, wow, I'm a 6.2, I'm a 7, hey, I'm a 4. It's like, nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's good to know. I know my score and I'm talking about it right now too, but I just want to talk about it from a from the other side. So something to consider. When you're wondering how to break free from these cycles and these family curses and get out of this depression and these traumas and really step into your power and really start living that beautiful life that you deserve. There's a playbook for that. And we're so lucky to be in a time where some random dude on a dirt bike can post a visually cool video and go over these things with you. Because when I was suffering, we didn't have any of that. And then even when MySpace finally came out, it wasn't really that social and informative. Look at these guys. I'll go slow. Hey cuties. Little babies. Sorry guys. Now those are happy cows. Okay, time to get out of here. So, oh shit, I scared one and he's on the road. I don't want to chase her. Come on, sweetheart, get off the road. Now she's got to run all the way back to her friends. Oh, there, she's off the road. Not my proudest moment here, chasing cows. Stay there, sweetie. Please don't get back. Fuck. I'm sorry. Alright, I'm out of here. You are so cute. You're safe now. Bye. Okay. Let's talk about your playbook here. Let's choose and find healthy relationships. And it's funny because when you're really deep in it, like I was, you could be in a healthy relationship, but you're the unhealthy one. Forgot about this. Little fallen tree. By the way, I'm not on my A game today. Sometimes I get out on this bike and I'm just X Games ripping and it's like poetry. And then sometimes I get on this bike and my lower back hurts and my grip isn't the same. And I am having an off day, but I'm here, so I still win because I'm on my bike. So healthy relationships. These are not just lovers, but friends. The supportive kind that actually want to see you do better and want to be there for you. Have somebody that you can talk to and open up to without fear of judgment. Or a lover that supports you. You know, I've had relationships that were very one-sided, and especially in Southern California, you know, you date these girls where the relationship is more based on what you can give them financially and physically more than like a loving support system. And so if you're in a one-sided relationship, you know it, and you should get the hell out of it. But find somebody you know, I got a best friend. He's I love this guy. He's looks like Joe Rogan. We've been friends since high school. We went to college together. Best friend I've ever had in my life. He is so emo. It's embarrassing. He doesn't even see it. But it's beautiful because we can really talk about a lot of things, and he supports me, I support him, and it's just every time I'm feeling a little overwhelmed or stressed out, I can call him and I can tell him anything without any judgment, nothing, and he does the same with me. And I found that helps. And I think that that's one step in your healing journey, is finding some type of relationship like that. You know, another thing, it's kind of generic, but learn how to regulate your nervous system. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day routines and the stress and get caught up in these traumas. Go outside and get some grounding. Let your body touch the earth. Get out on a dirt bike, go for a walk, walk your dog. You know, before I had money for toys and I was really stressed out and hurting, I had my baby, my little pit bull, and we could just go walk for hours. And you know, I was addicted to opiates. I'd pop a Vicodin or two and I could walk for like 3 or 4 hours just high on Vicodins, but it was healing for me. And then pretty soon I didn't need the Vicodins. I could just walk. And you get wound up, you know, and learning how to regulate the nervous system through breath work. I've talked about breath work and silence in the majority of my videos so far. And so I think finding that silence is extremely important. But, you know, meditating doesn't have to look like sitting in a field, Indian style, listening to nature. Meditation can look like a dog walk, sitting on your front porch with your shoes off and letting your feet touch the grass. A dirt bike ride, a motorcycle ride, hop in your car, just go for a cruise. But I think regulating your nervous system is very important. So, you know, we're finding meaningful relationships that are supportive. We're regulating our nervous system. Then we start getting more personal after that, you know. We're at a point where we can start getting deeper. We can start rewiring our core beliefs. You can start thinking about these traumatic experiences and actually doing the shadow work. And realizing the blessings of it all, seeing the jewels that came. Ask yourself, what light could be gained from this darkness that I went through? And slowly focus on the positive, and you can rewire the entire core belief behind the trauma. I think a really important part of that kind of steamrolls into recognizing your triggers. I used to walk around triggered, chip on my shoulder, ready for a fight. But what you do is when a trigger comes up for you, you just stop for a minute and you ask yourself, what does this trigger or current experience that's triggering me, what does this remind me of? Because any trigger that you have stems from past traumas. And then when you're feeling this trigger and this emotion, and it's making you mad or sad or making you feel withdrawn or quiet, ask yourself, how old do I feel right now? Those are two very important questions to help you identify and rewire your triggers. So now the next time somebody cuts you off and you get pissed off, or you're in a relationship and you don't get the response you were hoping for or the support that you were hoping for, you can identify really quickly if you're the toxic one or if the other person's the toxic one. Because if you're the one who's getting triggered because it reminds you of something that happened to you as a kid, and the emotion you're feeling now makes you feel like you're 12 years old, then you can just reframe it and acknowledge to yourself, like, I understand that this trigger is a past trauma and I release it and it no longer affects me. So I know we're covering a lot, from healthy relationships to regulating your nervous system to rewiring your core beliefs and understanding your triggers. It seems like a lot, but I just want to make sure that you guys see the big picture. As a trauma survivor, if I had this conversation with somebody 20 years ago, it would have saved me 20 years of pain. So that's what I'm hoping for you. We're not done though, there's more. Something else that you can do is you can choose growth-focused environments. You know, I used to listen to gangster rap because it spoke to me. It sang about my life as growing up as a have-not, running the streets, committing crimes, drugs, alcohol, women. But I realized that it would have me all in my feels. I could listen to Slippin' by DMX and it would just take me back. And listen to Keep Your Head Up by Tupac, and it would take me back to that homelessness and the insecurities, and it would give me pride and confidence that I was a gangster, street credit, and just prolonging the trauma, really eating it up. So choosing a growth-focused environment doesn't mean you have to go sit in an office. It just means maybe listen to some new music that's more upbeat and positive. Maybe don't watch Menace to Society and relive your gangster days. Maybe put on something a little bit more fun, a little bit more focused on growth. You can change your environment just by changing what you're putting into your brain. Also, walk away from those friends that stay in that environment. You know, I got friends that I love dearly that I still to this day consider best friends, pivotal in me getting through my life. And I'll never turn my back on them, but we don't talk much because there's just always a gray cloud over their heads, and all they want to do is complain, talk about money, how they don't have any. And then I got other friends who every conversation we have is, what new business can we start? What new marketing angle is working? Finding work and life balance, putting energy in our relationships. And it's just beautiful. So, changing your environment to a more productive environment is one of the most impacting things. You know, I got a sales job, and bringing that negative energy into a sales call was so tough. And I learned that I had a better close ratio and I closed more deals when I listened to happy music. And I know it sounds super lame. I'm not talking about Taylor Swift, but I had fun. I would bump some pop on the way to my sales meetings and I'd crush the deal. But if I showed up all pissed off bumping DMX, you know, it's hard to get out of that energy. So I think that's an easy shift for you. Just change the environment you're putting in your mind. You know, and then I think lastly, not for lack of importance, but just purpose and spirituality. I think for me, religion is a separatist society that judges other people and condemns you to hell. And for me, religion's not the path. No, I do believe in God, and I do believe in religion. I just compare all the religions, and I find the similarities, the common denominators. And the common denominators is spirituality. It's coming from a place of love, forgiveness, indigenous knowledge and wisdom. I mentioned in my last video when I was on my motorcycle, the warrior's way. You know, that's ancient indigenous wisdom. Whatever your purpose is, it helps you reframe. That also helps you find the light in the darkness. So there's a lot of tools for you there. So we're gonna focus not on all the elaborations, but just having healthy relationships in your life, calming your nervous system the simple way. You don't need a therapist to calm your nervous system. trail is just amazing. Rewire your core beliefs. Recognize your triggers. Choose healthy environments, internally and externally, and find some purpose in spirituality and ancient wisdom. You do that, and you've won at this game of life. You're officially the gold medal winner. Like I said, I'm not on my A game today. I don't always run off trail, but when I do, it's always an adrenaline rush. So that's it. You know, if you're still here, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm sending you all the love in the world to get through this. Be good. Do good things. Help people when you can. And if you're listening to this, you are the resistance. And I love the smell of two-stroke in the morning. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. There's Zero Cool. I guess I'll end the video here. Much love, everybody.